Placid, bucolic nature sounds. Birds chirping. More birds chirping. And we're live, everybody. Hey, we're going to turn off the nature sounds here in a second. Hey, I'm Joe Christensen. This is our first live on Run Rates. If you're watching this, you are probably bored. You have nothing else to do. We are broadcasting on the concept of Run Rates against a car wash. It's our very first inaugural episode. You're here for it. You're pretty much famous at this point. You're the few, the proud. We're going to do a deep dive on a video on a car wash. This guy who's purchased a car wash, bought it from scratch, turned it around, spruced it up, and then ran it at a profit. And we're going to analyze, did he make enough money? Did he make enough money for him? Would it make enough money for me? Would it make enough money for you? That's all that matters, is that it makes enough money for you. Well, obviously. Oh my gosh. So I got amped up on coffee to do this. My name is Joe Christensen. I am on a mission to transform the state of reporting worldwide so that everybody can make confident decisions based on the best info available. We're talking generous decisions. Let me just say this again. To get the cobwebs out from the morning of work. Who else has work? You guys know work. So yeah, I do this. I do the thing on Joe Reads the News out online. I usually am serving companies that are $200 million to $2 billion in corporate reporting. I've delivered reporting platforms for companies in that range, $200 million to $2 billion since 2010. And I want to give all those tips and tricks and frameworks that the large companies have to you. The tech, the approach, what the team does and how you could use it. But also give you the secrets that those large companies never seem to embrace. And that's the core run rates of a company, like this car wash, and how to reverse engineer a system that always delivers on those run rates. Why, you ask? Well, because if you cared about your buyer, you'd make a system that never failed them. This is Run Rates. All right, let's do it. We're going to dive right in. So the format here is that we're going to watch a YouTube video, overlay a little bit. I'm going to be in the wings. We're going to let the car wash person on YouTube talk all about what he's doing for run rates. And then we're going to be in Excel just typing away on the numbers and seeing if that's going to be enough for us. Got it? Good, good, good. Got it? So exciting. All right, here we go. So I am going to share screen. We're going to watch YouTube. We're going to introduce this whole thing. You guys are going to love this guy, Chris Atkins, Car Wash Chronicles. I've already got it up. I have to share and see if audio will share. Our whole crew is going to tell us if this is going to work. Allow. All right, that works. You guys have to tell me if audio is good. All right, let's kick it off. Kick.
Yeah, viewers, Chris Atkins here. Welcome back to my channel, the Car Wash Chronicles. It's been 2 years, technically about 2.5 years, since I got the Barstow car wash. You saw the renovation process, for those of you who watched. But here we are, 2.5 years later. We're going to see how it's doing. We're going to check the paint job. We're going to see how much it's making. Is it profitable? Let's find out. I just got here. No cleanup yet.
All right, so we're off to the races. So this is in Barstow, California. Chris owns these car washes all over the planet, I think all over the U.S. And so his model, I think, is to buy something that's a little bit beaten up, restore, renovate, and then run it. And all these car washes need a lot of love. If you can see the walls here, they're sort of they're already sort of grimy, like dingy, murky, whatever. And so he goes through this episode. We won't watch the entire thing. We'll put it in the link, but he's emptying money down here. Here, I'll make this full screen for you. So he's emptying money down here farther on. He goes and tours the thing. Money changing right here. We've got the billfold, like, see here. So he takes these big old fat stacks of cash out of the money changers. Let me see here.
For one rainy day and a few cloudies. Let's go ahead, check the cash from this bay.
So this little thing, if you see the wires and switches over here, like it does know how much money's coming in.
I'll take it. Obviously, I'm not going to leave it. Let's go ahead, check bay 1. Not as much. Very sad, disappointing. Hey, we got a towel stuck to the wall. I do not want to touch that. I'm not sure what's holding it to the wall. Some putty type stuff. You can now probably guess.
He's awesome. So his putty stuff. He doesn't like touching stuff around the car wash, including this. He's changing the dryers here, the vacuums here, and then later on he actually cleans out the vacuums and shows how he like maintains the property, and it's pretty gross. So he goes through the whole thing. And he shows like his new machines that have the card readers on them. And now for most people who, let's say that you're not in this business, one of the angles here that's really like interesting is that all businesses make money a certain way. This is really straightforward how the car wash makes money. You only have a few options and it's really circumstantial. Literally, like you're standing in the bay and then you're looking around and say, how many options do I have here to like, spend money on cleaning my car? And then he publishes here very clearly, like $4 equals 5 minutes or something, 4 quarters. I forget what this says, equals 5 minutes, accepts tokens and quarters. So it's very clear. And then these buttons here can sort of go, most of this apparatus can be sort of become pretty dingy. But he goes through that and then he clears everything out, talks about his place, about Monday sort of being slow. And he's stuffing bills in his pockets. And then he's using this bucket right here as his collection bucket. All right. So we're collecting money in the car wash. Poor YouTube. Just spinning. Go. Anyway, so I'll just jump ahead here. So he's got this money changer thing and he dumps all the coins in. He dumps all the bills in. He starts counting.
So I can free up my pockets. So from the bays and then in the bill changer out the front, there'll probably be a similar stack the same size as this. So usually 2 stacks here at Barstow. We're kicking it old school with one of these vids.
Money changer. So that's going to separate out like tokens in the front thing and then over into the bucket, go to the quarters or vice versa, whatever it is. And it's counting them.
And I got it on camera. It was rare, but it made me happy.
I love this guy, man.
Fingers, topped them up, made them work, and I survived. Incredible.
He's the best, dude. Good. So he takes you as on a tour.
Rinse, all looking good. Close this. Didn't know why that was open. So yeah, everything is A-okay.
So he's going to clean up and take off.
The Car Wash show is coming up in Nashville, May 11th and 13th. Cash. So I made it home. Hour and 45 minutes later.
Shake.
And we're ready to count. the Barstow cash. So I'm just going to count that cash. So here it is here, Barstow cash. I'm not going to count that. That's not included. No, that's the other car washes. Just ignore that. We have the other double stacker. We had to upgrade to Super Saiyan style because imagine counting all this out by hand, separating the 1, 5s, 10s, and 20s by hand, and then counting it on one of those cheap little single stacks. So 24, yeah. So there you have it, $1,329 in cash, $448.25 in quarters, which is a total of cash and coin of $1,777.25, plus the credit cards is a total of $374 in credit cards. So that's kind of pretty low. So that brings the total revenue for the week for my Barstow car wash, little car wash in a little quiet town halfway to Vegas, $2,151.21. It usually ranges around $2,400, $2,500 a week. Like I said, that's probably going to cover pretty much all the expenses. So all the expenses will be covered in the first week because the mortgage is so low and it's just kind of a cheap little car wash. So I'm happy about that. Maybe it'll take 9 or 10 days to cover the expenses. Something like brake, change out a gun, change out a swivel, change a brush head, it all adds up. So probably 10 days, cover the expenses, and the other 20 days can be a little profit in the pocket. Finish my protein shake.
Oh, he's got to finish his protein shake.
Like I said before, that.
So that's run rates, right? Can we just pause for a second? Run rates. So we got run rates right off the bat. Thank you, Chris. Everybody clap, 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 because like he owns this thing. He doesn't have to share that information. Doesn't have to share. It's just us. Like he could be anyway, like what does he have to lose by sharing this information? But a lot of people are interested in that and specifically the run rates for car wash. So let's jump back in. He's going to say that like I think he's going to get to the run rates for the other car washes, but 10 days to cover expenses and then 20 days all profit. So you could start to do the math and you got to see in Barstow, California, you got to see like seasonality, like does this last all year or whatever? Anyway, let's keep going.
That's my lowest revenue generating car wash. My best one does 3 times that. So anyway, that's what it does 2.5 years later since the renovation. That's it. Video's done. See you at the car wash show in Nashville.
There you go. It's all done. Oh my gosh. We got to listen to that last, there's one last thing.
So all the expenses will be covered in the first week because the mortgage is so low and it's just kind of a cheap little car wash. So I'm happy about that. Maybe it'll take 9 or 10 days to cover the expenses. Something like brake, change out a gun, change out a swivel, change a brush head, it all adds up. So probably 10 days, cover the expenses, and the other 20 days can be a little profit in the pocket. Finish my protein shake. But like I said before, that's my lowest revenue generating car wash. My best one does 3 times that. So anyway, that's what it does.
All right, we're all good. So we got it. Thank you, Chris. Everybody give Chris a round of applause. Let me break this dealio. So he gave us run rates. We could back up to those and not play it, but just show the numbers. So he's showing like 2150 per week, I think. He says that's usually low, maybe 2400 is his average, 2450. That's the numbers those are the numbers we're going to take for run rates. And he says like first 10 days out of the month is what he takes to cover his basis. So it's not perfect on the numbers, like how much it takes, because the first week is about 7 days out of, the month. He's mentioning 10. So we'll just take 10. We'll take like the longer run rate. So that, 10 out of 30, about a third of the month is going to be covering his expenses. And then you've got 2/3 profit. That'd be like a 67% gross margin. Is that fair? I don't know. I'm just guessing. So I'm not an expert in the car wash business, but Chris is. He's running those, and a lot of other people on this channel are. and they know that profit margin is going to come back down because Chris might actually have to do repairs and everything. So his normal operating run rate might be 67%, but if you look at the whole year, it might be like closer to somewhere between 25 and 40%, maybe lower. You can go out to the base to Bear AI and say, what's profit margin for car washes, self-serve, Barstow, California. And they're looking at 40 to 60% due to low labor costs and minimal staffing. There you go. 60 to 75% maybe. Some of them are high. 40 to 50% operating margin. Very little cost to the employee. He has to do some of the work, so you have to factor some of that in. You do actually have to pay somebody to go do that if you're not going to do it yourself. So revenue potential can bring in 100 to 250 in annual revenue. We could actually tell AI like how many bays there are by jumping back here to like a picture of the place when they pan across the whole place and see how many bays there are. This is all bays. You got like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe 5 with like an 5 or 6. I don't know how many are here. So 100 to 250. And you could say dive deeper and say assume, let's say 6 bays self-serve with no touchless tunnel and owner collecting cash, all the ground maintenance and cash collection, update assumptions, update numbers. And this is just a swag, right? 6 bay gross revenue, somewhere like $1,500 to $2,500 per bay per month. And then he said about $2,500 a week. So maybe let's say 10,000 to 11,000. So this is right around there. Fixed cost, variable cost, 55% to 70% net margin. And then it goes and breaks down all the bits. But I need to know if this is going to be enough money for you and enough money for me. So let's just jump over to Excel. We've got car wash math up here. Run rates, car wash, 424.26. This is the money portion of our thing. It's the whole reason we're here. So we got targets up here, and then you've got run rates, and then worth it down here. And this is back of the napkin. The purpose here is to make sure that we're doing like an analysis that really covers, like, is this worth it to you guys? It was worth it to me. All right. So my target personally is, I'll set a target out there. So I'm a certain demographic. Some people will want to be making all of their income from a car wash. You have to update your targets accordingly. But for my usage, I just want a car wash to make enough money for my kids to go to college. All right. So this is sort of my targets are going to be sort of like college fund. But you can change your thing here. You could say, is this enough to replace my income? How many of these would you need to replace your income? So what I'll do here on columns maybe is like college fund. And then you could say replace income. And you could say portfolio. So investments, long hold, invest. And then I want to do another one here that's like literally get off the street. Like you are living on the street and you need somehow, somewhere to get off the street. And you're good at sales and you literally can go talk to somebody and work out seller financing and be creative about like the bank loan and the SBA and seller financing or whatever. And is that good for a target for you? So those are the targets we're going to hit. That's really targets up here on the top. Is it good enough? And then so run rates here, we're going to cover it. And is it worth it? We'll drag that down here. You guys ready for this? It's just car wash math is all. And then when you see the summary of this, we're going to speed it up so you don't have to listen to me talk so much. Okay, targets. Let's talk about college funds. So what we have to decide, are these monthly targets? Are they annual? So my target annually, like, is the only one I really care about. It's back of the napkin. College fund wise I've got 4 years of college. I've got to assume $25K a year per child. And I'm not going to tell you how many children I have. I wouldn't do a thing like that. $25,000. But they're not all going to go to college at once. Like their ages they're going to fade into it. Right. And then they're going to age into college and then age out of it, et cetera. But let's just say that I wanted to save, like this money compounds like that for cash usage. Let's say that I'm probably going to need, I'd say, golly, hold on 1 second. My target is equal to, let's just say $100,000 times 7 children. I'm not going to tell you how many children I have. I'm just going to throw the 7 number out there randomly. All right, we're going to do this. But, and the part of the reason I'm doing that is that I just want somebody, this is actually college fund for your kiddos. You might actually want $700K for one kid. I'll leave that up to you. And we'll do these 4 scenarios. Okay. So we can do all these scenarios right on run rates. It's pretty good. So $700K replace income. So college fund, let me think about this. It's $100,000 per kid, 7 kids, but I don't need that all in 1 year. And so we're talking about timing here, right? Like it's how much money do you need in under how often, like, or rather how immediate do you want to go? So I would say on run rates and timing, yeah, if my kiddos are going to need that college money over something like 15 years, I don't need $700,000 now. I need that over 15 years. So this annual run rate, let's say is $700K, but how soon? Yeah, I'm going to say like annual. So 12 months. And then for some of these guys, like who are on the street, they're going to need 1 month, like actually literally 1 week, right? So maybe put the 1 week person down here. Replace income needs to be 1 month. I'd say 3 months maybe, because let's say that you're out of work or something like that. You need to replace your income. I'm going to put that at 1 month because you're going to need that right away. And car wash is actually going to kick out some good money right away because of the bays. Like you could just do collections daily if you wanted. And so we could say, get off the street 1 week. This might literally be 1 day that you're dealing with. So 1 week, let's say for the get off the street person, every week, how much money do I need to survive? And so that's, how much do you need to survive? Let's say in Barstow, California. Let me just back of the napkin here. Like if you're just literally camping out in a shelter or a national park or something, like you got a weekly rate that you need to hit. If you're at $20 a day for shelter, you got $140 there. You got to eat something. So there's got to be food money there. And again, you could go out to AI to do this, but I'm just going to take a swag here and say that if you got food money at say, $60 a day or something, which is really low, but it's something, 60 times 7 days of $400 a week, let's say. Again, very low, but it's the absolute minimum. You've got 160, that's 560. So I would say $1,000 a week. You could go lower than that, like 800 a week times 50. It's $40,000 salary. If you're just making 30,000, let's just say 30,000 divided by like 52 weeks, you have to average 576. I don't know, let's call it $600 or something, but that's your 1 week need, right? Get off the street. Can it make that much cash? Now we saw $2,200 come across and he said that pretty much pays for expenses first 10 days. So 20 days, if you had 3 weeks at $600 at, what is it? 3 weeks at So 2,400 times 3. We're going to do this in a second. So revenue, and then expenses, profit. So we did revenue here. It's the same across the board. So this doesn't really line up with these columns here, but we'll just do this over here to make it a little bit more visually easy to follow. All right, run rate. So let's say revenue is going to be week, month, year. We're going to do right, bam, 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 bam. All right, 2,400 a week equals this times, I'm just going to do 4 for right now. It's really more like 4.25 equals this times 52 weeks. Something like that. You guys can figure this out. So, and then he said that pretty much the first week more or less covers his expenses. So that's this divided by 4.25. Is that right? Yeah. So, all right. So that's a 30,000 a year, and it's going to bring in 125 a year, and that lines up with what AI said about it, right? Profit, we said was equals this minus that, and that's gross profit, right? That just means at the high side, like main expenses, you also have some other stuff in here, like you have taxes and depreciation and all that other stuff, but we're just not going to touch that for a second. We're just going to do this like sort of gross profit line and say, would that be enough? All right. So per year is $95,000 of profit. And that's assuming a lot. In this case that Chris had, I think he had like this property cost him like a lot less. I think that he was able to, I think it might have even been abandoned in Barstow, California. And he was able just to buy it, paint it, put it back in service, and then start trading against it. All right. So he has a low mortgage payment. That's the point. He might have even gotten some like used equipment to get it up and running. So target here is $700,000 college fund, but how soon? Let's see, $700,000 is total for me, and replace income. I'm going to do like for 5 years or something like that. And let's say equals let's say your income is $100,000 a year. I'm going to do a high income here times 5 years. And then long hold invest. Let's say that over 5 years you want to make, let's say your target is, how much money are you putting in and what kind of return are you going to get? All right. So let's do this. There's a formula to do this, but it's saying if I got long hold invest, assume 12% return mutual funds. And that would be your long hold invest thesis or assumption. Is this boring to you? Get off the street would be like over 5 years. I mean, you don't really have a 5-year horizon. Like get off the street would be, I need $500 to live per week. And they're 50, 2 weeks. So I've got $25K a year. I need to make more than that over time so I can improve my standard of living. So if I can average, let's say 60,000 a year times 5 years, that's really good. 60K per year average income. Wrap text. Those are the assumptions there. We'll make all these assumptions pretty small so we can snuggle this thing up. All right, so 300K, and then 12% return on mutual funds. And how much are you investing here, right? Because an investor thinks, well, I think Chris said that he bought this place for like, let's just say 200K, right? So 200K invested over, what is 200K after 5 years at 12% interest compounded annually. I won't even do a daily compound there. 350. Okay. So anybody investing 200K is going to want to get to $350,000. 200K to start invested. All right. So those are targets. And then the question is, do we reach our targets? Oh my gosh. So the college fund, how soon here is below, and then 12 months, 1 month, 1 week, etc. And we also have to say, this is helpful, but I also want to say like 5 years. I'm going to do all 5 years. 5 years, 1 year, 1 month, 1 week. Good, super simple. And then down here, we're going to say, is it worth it? All right. So then will it sustain it, right? So college fund wise, over 5 years, I need 700K. What is this actually going to do? It's not, let's say 95K over 5 years. So equals this times 5 years. All of these should be these. So 477K. That's not perfect, but it's not horrible. So it's this times 5, right? So it's this thing times 5. It's the profit times 5. And I need to anchor this. This is just an Excel thing, but you just hit F4, I believe, and it anchors it. Okay. So this is going to spread like that. 5 year, is it worth it? And we're going to bring this back up for a second. Is it worth it equals what I want minus what I get. It's actually the opposite. This is what I want, what I get minus what I wanted. That's the difference. Okay. So on our replace income people, let's lock this up there. I'm going to lock the top row. On our replace income people, actually this is close. I think this could be close. If this ends up costing a lot more because you have a lot of other stuff in play like interest, depreciation, etc. But it depends on your tax scenario. So to know all of these numbers for certain, we got to get there. But this is what I'm interested in. I'm interested in the run rates. Are the run rates going to match what I want, like in life? So in this case, I'm short, let's say 222K over 5 years. And I think that in college terms, if I ended up earning, let's say marginally more money over 5 years, if I increase prices, if I offset some of this income to like, because the depreciation on the property and stuff like that, then this might actually still be okay. And that 222 gap might be able to be closed. Otherwise, what do you have to do about it? Like you got to get another car wash. You have to, like, your run rate's not good enough. And that's where we're getting here in this analysis. Like when we're asking Chris, who's done all this great work and like showing us how to, break down a car wash as he's nailing, money into the money changer thing in his bucket and then taking it to the bank, like the cash stacks cash while he's drinking protein shakes. Like we have to understand, we have to rather get to the point, like, is it worth it? Is this going to support my dreams, my hopes and dreams? So a gross profit of a year, like 95K, that's a lot. That's super high on, but it's the return on investment. If you put in, let's say 200 you're getting back close to 100 year one, then that would be really quite good. And you have to be really careful about analyzing how much it took. Because if you had to spend another 200, if you bought it for 200 and then you revamped it at another 200 in, then you'd be like let's say 95K return on $400,000, and those run rates are different. So basically you're saying, what do I get in return for what I've put in? In the case of the investor, let's say they put in 200 invested, and then they got back 477. So it's a gross all in, I don't know, return of like, you got all your money back. You got your 200K back. You got it again to equal 400. And then you got it again, like at a percentage. So that's pretty cool. Who wants a car wash? Let's go, man. All right. Run rates wise, where are we? Did we do the math okay? The college fund person is close. Let's look at the person off the street. Over the time, period that the person has to go and run the car wash, they might over 5 years clear, like they put nearly nothing in. They just took about a bunch of risk and liability. And it looks to me like they wanted to hit about 300 and they ended up hitting 477. All right. So that's a good deal for them. This is 577 a week. The person who's a long hold investor, honestly, they're just sort of interested in an annual return. So that equals this. So that actually is just equal to the annual return here. And then replace your income. You're sort of interested in stuff on a monthly level. You want to get paid monthly. That's equal to more like the monthly number here, 7,800. And in the college fund, that's like a 5-year number. I'm only really interested in this 5-year number, 477, which is K15 down here, the amount of money, the gross profit times 5 years. Oh boy, we get 477. But since my kids have a longer horizon, if we ran this out, let's say over 15 years, that's a much larger number at $1.4 million. And that would be adequate for my 700K. If you got to factor in appreciation of value of the place, inflation, maybe depreciation, like there's all kinds of factors that go in this, but it's not bad to look at that at 15 years. That's pretty nice. We'll even drop in like a whole line here that says 15 years. And then do the same thing here and say equals 15. That's pretty good. And the long hold investor would be the same person. I think that's a 15-year outlook on 200. So that's pretty good too. All right, you guys got it? You got the run rates? All right, so when you go and run this, it's not the end of the discussion. You have to actually update all these numbers as often as it matters to you. So even though this person's probably long hold investor is only interested in 5-year outlooks, that person probably wants to know, is it up or down? Is it slow or is it heavy for volume or traffic? And then get off the street person does not have the luxury of a 5 or 15-year outlook. They need to know, can they eat this week? Are they clearing enough in order to get this, car wash engaged, to make this car wash, make them enough money so they can survive and eat and live somewhere? Because this person's going to need a car eventually. Cars cost money, etc. So you got to figure out your run rates here. Each one of these scenarios, let's say the run rate for the whole place, this actually takes the shape of like a profit and loss statement, and you can give it as much context as you want, as much homework as you want. But you know what we're interested in? We want to know at the top level, top side, is it enough for me to survive in the case of get off the street? Is it a good investment for long hold invest? Can I quit my job for replace my income? Is it going to put my children through college? Is it going to, give them a launch into life? Because in college fund here, I just put college, but I also want it to pay them forever and give them something that they can hold forever. And I think that something like this thing this car wash could actually support that. I think it could support them as they grew. All of them, actually, maybe just on this one car wash, if it did nothing else but support college and then their lives as they launch. All right. So what we need out of this, my commitment to you, is that we need to surprise you guys with a little bit of software that goes in here and tries to say, is it worth it? And lets you guys punch in your assumptions and then have it return out like, you know, the numbers. So you don't have to listen to me for 20 odd minutes, go through Excel math. Not exciting. All right. So I would say decision wise, if I can get into this, I would do this for my children. I think that's a good idea. And then if they depleted all this money, if it paid for all the college and everybody's through college and even gave them a dowry of sorts for, you know, when girls get married and for the young laddos, like if they need to go do something that requires money and a head start in life, like put, you know, money into plant and equipment as they grow, like if they want to do a startup, it's only generating $95,000 a year. And if that can be depleted really quickly, for example, if my children, for whatever reason, are on the street, like that, they would use that for that reason. And so I would say that it's not only good to probably buy a car wash, but, you know, or something like it, but maybe several. In this case, where I'm negative 222 on a 5-year basis, this is just like, you know, my target 700K over 5 years. 5 years, it's only bringing in $500,000. Maybe it's not worth it, okay, to pay for all of college. But that's like paying for all of college as soon as it's done. And that's not, you know, I've got 15 years to do that. This is $1.4 million. We could even afford to get this number down. Let's say that this gross number was like half of what it was. I think it could be half of what it was and still be pretty good for my kiddos. Now, it might not pay for the college that my kid's in now because it's not enough or something, but it could actually do so. I mean, it could actually. I think $25K a year, it's a $100,000 need. It would only take 2 years to do that if this was $50,000. Where you get into trouble is if you have a big expense and all of a sudden this is negative 15,000. Now you got a college expense and this leaky car wash. So you'd probably want to factor in some risk here. But that's not the point. You can do a full financial analysis. There's lots of support for that online. I would say, get this share off. I would say that we've looked at enough numbers here to say that a car wash is not a bad investment. Thank you to Chris Atkins, by the way, for being willing to just divulge all his numbers online. Thank you for, let's see, thank you to the car wash buyers. We want to do one more lens on this. Is everything that we did good for the buyer? If you had a car wash, is it good for them? So here's my own take. I have to share screen again. If you guys recall, Chris had a lot of, back at the property, he had improved this property and it's 2 years old and it's already got some, let's say, flecks in the paint up there, you know, so it looks like it could use some paint up there, paint on, you know, refresh on the walls, et cetera, et cetera. But these things do get dirty pretty quickly. I would say that if the machines that he has, as he cleans these out, let me jump to the machine. The yellow cloth. There it is. VAC 1. I don't know. It's this machine up there. Okay. So like on the machine level, if those things all work, then we're sort of in good shape, right? If these things work, and especially if they take, you know, no coins, if you don't have any coins, but they do take coins if that's all you have. So I would say that for somebody who wants to get their car cleaned, like he's given them every option. He upgraded these machines. He upgraded the bill changer, let's say, across the place, and he's keeping it clean. We saw him sweep up. And he's being diligent about maintaining the place and making sure that it's full of quarters like the bill changer is, and that you don't have a dead bay here that can't do any washing. And he showed us the liquids room there, sort of the operations center. I think this is farther on. Yeah, this is the works, like the dish soap factory, and dish soap, the car soap factory. So he showed us all that. So I would say it's good for the buyer. Overall, when you do your analysis here, it's like we got some targets in play. It would be good for the buyer as well as good for you. We focus pretty much math on you. And I just want to point out that, and then we're gonna do some other analysis here. There's some great people I want to analyze here on YouTube, but it also has to be good for the buyer. In fact, you could really luck out on like all the money for you, but if you're doing something that's not good for the buyer, long term, I would submit to you that you don't like that. So part of our mission here at Run Rates is to make sure that the run rates work for you, yes, but that the service itself works for the buyer, and that, part of doing run rates means that you can't serve people if you don't have profit, right? Because you won't do it if there's no profit. So the profit is actually a deep service to the buyer, to your customer. So profit calculation and run rates calculation is a deep service to the buyer. Many people have said this. I am not the only purveyor of this information. I'm just a small business. I've done this for 12 years. In the 12 years, it's 16 years, 2010 to 2026. I'm on year 16 of this. I'm a small business serving large businesses. My customers are $200 million to $2 billion. They're usually spending a budget that doesn't belong to them. It's like the money of the business, right? Of the ownership. So my customer, the person I'm dealing with, usually the owner of the place is not talking to me. It's usually one of their people in a department. So I'm a small business serving them. I've got to do my own run rates, and I have to do pricing so that I get a profit level that's sustainable, that keeps me in the market, and then serves all these other people. But it has to be good for the buyer. Otherwise, those profit numbers will not stick around, because it's a competitive market and people will leave. Those customers will leave if they know that it's all about me and I haven't taken them into account. Hey, we've done enough. How long did we go? Nobody knows. I think we're like 45 minutes into this. We're going to condense this down into a short, watchable thing. We're going to call out all the segments there and then compress it so that you can watch it quickly and get right to the results. Thank you, guys. This has been the first episode of Run Rates. Also, and I'm getting messages over here, we're going to fix the audio because you guys need fixed audio. Got it. And then we've got to fix video too. Whenever I'm sharing my screen, it's cutting off the thing. So we're going to fix all of the visuals, and we're going to overlay the video so that you can see it, and overlay the audio so that you get my voice is over real YouTube video by Chris, because we want to make sure Chris Atkins' voice is heard. So thank you for enduring this, for getting through this live. Thank you. And again, this has been Joe Christensen for Run Rates. We're going to see you next time. We'll have more stuff developed for you. Thanks all.